Welcome to the Qigong Global Summit, a free online event featuring some of the world's foremost Qigong teachers, sharing simple yet powerful practices to cultivate abundant Qi flow for succulent health, longevity, and inner harmony. Share this event with your friends and family, and come join us on Facebook at the Shift Network.
Hello, everyone. I'm Daisy Lee, and I have the great privilege of interviewing Sharon Smith, who is the coordinator and organizer for the Qigong Global Summit. Sharon is a senior instructor of the Universal Healing Tao and the director of Immortal Sisters Conference. She is a 40-year practitioner of the Taoist internal arts and has been teaching for 35 years in New York City. In 2017, she created and directed the Immortal Sisters Conference, a historic gathering of women committed to returning to the Tao. Sharon is also a photographer and award-winning filmmaker. Welcome, Sharon.
Thanks, Daisy. How fun to talk with you.
Likewise. I love your studio and love the opportunity to have this chance to chat with you and get to know you even better. Sharon, everyone is looking for the magic bullet to help them stay healthy and to age gracefully. And as a longtime practitioner of Qigong and Tai Chi and the Taoist internal arts, you've shared nothing works better than the cultivation of our Qi through mindful movement like Qigong, meditation, self-massage, and breath work. So let me know, how did you start on this journey? You've been at this for over 40 years, which is pretty rare for women to have, kind of been pioneers in this field in a sense. What was your initial start?
Well, Daisy, I was a photographer, and I had a lot of physical problems which had to do with my profession. My ears were connecting with my shoulders were way up here. I had a lot of congestion in my third eye from looking at the world through a lens. Of course, in those days, that's what you did. You looked, you picked the camera up and looked through it. I also was very stressed out about money, and I smoked pot all day, every day. And, I was in my late 20s, and it was the time when people did those things. But I was kind of a mess physically. And a good friend of mine said, well, you might really enjoy Tai Chi. And so I went to a class, and in the first class, I knew this was my path. And I'm very grateful that I had the insight in that moment to recognize how beneficial practice was going to be for me. And that just sort of opened the path. And I studied Tai Chi for 2.5 years with that teacher, but there was something missing in my Tai Chi form. And that little something was Qi. I thought that Qi was this elusive, mysterious thing. I didn't feel it. Sometimes I would have a flavor in my mouth after class, and I thought it was the tea that they served at the studio. But in retrospect, I realized that was really my first experience of Qi. And that particular teacher, he was Korean, and I learned Qigong from him. I learned Yang-style Tai Chi, a short form and a long form. He did a Taoist breathing practice. I learned a lot of things from him, but at a certain point, his teaching started to change, and it turned out that he was studying with Mantak Chia in Chinatown. At that time, Mantak Chia had just come to the United States, and he was only teaching Asian people in Chinatown. He hadn't taught any Westerners. And my teacher, his name was Don On, he was studying with Mantak Chia, and he invited Mantak Chia to his studio to teach the microcosmic orbit. And so I was in that first class of Western students, and we learned the microcosmic orbit over the weekend. And after that weekend, I felt chi, and it was like before chi and after chi. So my life really changed from experiencing my own energy, and I just became fascinated and intrigued by all of these practices. And that's what I did.
You haven't looked back since.
No.
Because there's so many layers to Qigong. On the physical level, you can be healing if you understand, how to move the energy through the body through practice. But, many Westerners, especially, I would venture to even say that Easterners too, there's a lot of focus on the mind and mental activity. It can be all consuming. You talk about active meditation. And how is that used, and how is it helpful for people whose primary mode of experience is mental?
Yeah, well, I, like many people, when I first wanted to learn to meditate, it was just impossible for me. I couldn't quiet my mind. I couldn't think of nothing.
Especially in New York City.
Especially in New York City. There is so much activity. It was just impossible for me. And movement was a doorway into meditation for me. But also, when I learned to use my mind in a sitting practice, that really helped me because my mental attention went somewhere. Instead of just being like a feral child in the woods, just running around, it had a focus. And once I learned to train my mind like that, I began to experience the benefits of meditation. And I particularly was intrigued by the Chinese medical aspect of Qigong and the flow of energy. I found all of that to be just incredibly fascinating. I mean, you have to realize this already was a long time ago, and Chinese medicine wasn't so prevalent in the culture. People had heard of acupuncturists, of course, and some people visited acupuncturists, got shiatsu, things like that. But for me, the idea that you could use your mind to move energy in the body, that was just great. I was very excited by that, and I received the benefit of being able to focus my mind and achieve a meditative state.
That is perfect. That's what it's all about, finding that harmonious balance. Now, I know that Universal Healing Tao, they have some focus on sexual energy, and that might be misperceived. So what does sexual energy have to do with Qi cultivation?
That's a really good question. And that was a question that I had, of course, in the beginning. But, I came of age in the 60s and 70s when the sexual revolution was happening. And when I heard about the Taoist sexual energy practices, I was like, oh, yes, let's go for that. I didn't have to jump through any hoops to get there. But I didn't really understand at all what I was getting into, because sexual energy is really what the Taoists and the Chinese medical people call Jing. It's our original Qi, the original energy that we received at the moment of conception from our parents, and it carries the ancestral energy, so that we are a product of all of those decisions that all those people in our ancestral line made. And lo and behold, here we all are. And we're all products of that sexual connection between the sperm and the egg. So the egg is yin, it's waiting over here, and the sperm is swimming. So right there you have the union of yin and yang, and the energy starts to move. And we resonate with that energetic frequency because that's where we come from. And so I think that most people in our culture, unless they've done a deep dive into sexual practices, just think that sex is just the physical act of sex. And that it's all about what you get out of it. Like, you know, I have an orgasm, you have an orgasm. However, it's just much more than that, because the energetic frequency is something that we resonate with. And with that energetic frequency, we have the union of creative force and hopefully love. And those two things together are very powerful forces. So when you talk about cultivation, Qi cultivation and sexual practice, what you're really talking about is using the sexual energy, raising the frequency to the love vibration, right? And spreading that energy through your body, because that is the most powerful energy that we have. It can create another human being. So we know that it's really powerful. So if you have a way to use that energy for transforming your mind, your body, your spirit, to create more love in your relationships, hey, that's really great, right?
Absolutely. And that's a beautiful description, Sharon, because I've often heard, you know, some misunderstandings about what that is, and you describe it so well. Because someone who doesn't have a partner, they can use this practice for self-cultivation. And, you know, I've never studied with Mantak Chia. I've met him a couple of times, but there's a focus from what I've seen of you know, the titillating ideas behind sexual energy. And even though it draws people, some people might be intimidated. So it's like, what is that really? And your description and your true understanding of it, I think, you know, is very helpful for anyone that's really entering Qigong, because it's more than the, you know, orgasms. It's more than, you know, these, great if you have one, but, you know, it's not about that. And right. So, you know, how do people use this energy? How do they harness it? And as you were saying, distribute it through the body for healing or mental faculties or other life, you know, activities? Well,
Mostly you get in touch with it through meditation and self-massage. So for women, and I pretty much teach women exclusively these practices, although I have taught some men. But for women, we get in touch with our creative power through connecting with our ovaries and through our breasts. And I like to call the energy of a woman's energy, I like to call the yin essence. And what is the yin essence? The yin essence is the energy that comes out of the physicality of being a woman. So we have the nurturing energy in our breasts. We have the compassion and love energy in our hearts. We have the creative force in our ovaries. And we have the juicy, activated sexual energy in the yoni. So for me, the practice is about combining all of these energetic forces into one place, and it's like a little it's like a little gathering place at the ovarian center, which is midway between the ovaries, about a hand's width below the navel. And we combine all of these energies into one energy, which I call the yin essence. And then you circulate that yin essence in your body. And the yin essence is what we would call unaroused energy. But if you're in a sexual situation and you experience aroused energy, you can also move the aroused energy through your body. So it's a process of meditating, making connections, opening up some channels so that that energy has a place to go, and enjoying it. That's a big part of it.
Yes, absolutely. I think that, part of the Qigong practices in general is to bring love and peace and pleasure to the body, to our way of understanding the world. In your practices, what is the effect of energy meditation? What has it been on you? Like, what has manifested from that initial learning and the progression since that time?
Thank you. That's such a good question. And I'm at a time in my life where I'm thinking about that kind of thing, and wondering, like, what would have happened to me if I didn't practice all these last 40 years? And one of the things that I really appreciate and just feel a lot of gratitude for is that I am extremely healthy at this time in my life. I'm 69 years old. A lot of people I know my age are not doing so well. I'm very fortunate, and I really attribute that to 40 years of practice. And,
you look radiant.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I do feel that my practice just helps me live my life. And for me, I feel like the world is in at such a critical stage right now that to stay healthy in order to be of service is a real gift. And so I would say that my practice over the years has given me that understanding and helps me live my life from a position of gratitude.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Sharon. I think all of us, or at least many of us who are doing Qigong practices, we're tapping into not just ourself and our heart of gratitude, but there's all these forces around us, below us, above us. And if we are to use this and cultivate it, what is the potential that it would bring to others if we practice ourselves? How do we stand in that practice?
I think that this is one of the most beautiful things about Qigong practice for me, is the ability to connect to nature and higher frequency forces. Everyone has the experience of feeling better when they go to the ocean, or when they go hiking, or when they go fishing on a lake, or whatever they do to get into nature. Qigong gives you a kind of energetic infrastructure through which you can begin to really tap into that energy for healing, and then that kind of metabolizes in your system and it comes back out. And so, I really feel like there's nothing like Qigong for giving you that connection with nature.
Yeah, I have to agree. I'm blessed to be surrounded by nature where I am in Puerto Rico, and by the oceans, the mountains, the garden that we're planting. And there is, such a difference in how you notice life, how you connect with another person when you do practice. And I ask the same question that you do: what would I be without this practice? And so, practice is the key. We don't just practice an hour a day. It's a living thing in our bodies once we start this process. So I'd be really curious, and if you'd like to share some of your practices, I would love to see that and experience that.
Thank you. So I will share a 15 or 20-minute simple practice that I do every day to warm up, to connect to heaven and earth, a little movement. Yeah, thanks. I'd love to.
Awesome.
Okay, let's stand with our feet in a shoulder width position. Touch our tongues to the upper palate. Close our eyes for a moment and just be present wherever you are. Feeling your feet on the floor, feeling your clothes on your body. And you can take a deep exhalation. And just let go of whatever you have been holding on to. And then open your eyes and let's just shake the body out. Release, relax, let go. You can make a little bit of noise if you like. And then turn to your left. And come back to the middle. And turn to the right. And come back to the middle. And slowly let that stop, and with your eyes closed, take a moment to attune yourself to that subtle level of your experience, which is your energy. And then you can slowly open your eyes, and let's swing the arms. Inhale, arms up, exhale. So we're just gonna warm up for a few minutes. Inhale up, exhale. Letting your arms just release from that place where they attach to your torso. And then again, bouncing and shaking. And now let's shift the weight and let our arms be free. Just let your arms move because you're turning from your navel. And then you can form a gentle fist and lightly tap your shoulders and your kidneys. And then tapping your thymus gland very gently, just getting in touch with that part of your body. And then your navel center. And again, bouncing and shaking. And let's rotate the wrists, complete rotation of the wrists. And reverse. And stretching to the side. And reverse. And now stretching up. And reverse. And now let's interlace the fingers and bend the knees and inhale and turn your body to your left and exhale, come up on your toes and stretch maximum. And inhale, bend your knees, turn to the right. Exhale, come up and stretch. And inhale, bend your knees, bring your arms behind you. And exhale, come up and stretch. And inhale, bend your knees, bring your arms in front of you. And exhale. And releasing your arms down, let's just rotate the shoulders. Just get into lubricating any congestion, any tightness. And reverse. And then turning to your left, and inhale, lift your shoulders to your ears, and turn to your right, and exhale, and release. And inhale, shoulders up to your ears, and turning, and exhale. And inhale, shoulders up, and turn, and exhale. And last time, inhale up, and turn, and exhale. And shaking again. And this time, let's lift the arms up to shoulder height, and let's bounce and shake and feel your hands move from the wrists. And turning to your right, I guess it's your left, coming back to the middle, and turning to your right, and coming back. And now let's just swing the arms and hit the heels, stimulate the bones. And bouncing and shaking. So we're going to do some movements now, and we're going to add the healing sounds to the movements. I'm not going to really teach the healing sounds because many of you have been watching the summit and several people have taught the healing sounds. But I don't believe anyone has taught a moving version of the healing sounds. So we're just going to add them in. And if you're new to this, no problem. Just follow along. We're going to start with the lung sound. So right now everybody's so concerned about their breath, about the condition of their lungs. So we want to breathe into the lungs, we want to fill them up with qi, and on an exhalation, we're going to make the lung sound, which is sss. Okay? And the body movement looks like this. We're going to bend the knees, we're going to bring our arms in front of us with a gentle fist, and we're going to inhale, and your tailbone and your hips go back. You can open your palms, you can look up, and then as you exhale, move your tailbone and hips forward, and you can make a gentle fist and the lung sound. And inhale, open your palms, look up, and exhale, tailbone and hips in, lung sound. Letting go of cloudy gray, congested energy. Inhale, and exhale. Any sadness, any grief, any depression, inhale, open, breathing into the corners of your lungs, exhale. And we'll do two more. Inhale, and exhale. And last time, inhale, and exhale. And now stand up tall and shake your body out. And you can move your hips. And now let's rotate the hips, the complete rotation of your hips. And reverse. And now let's do a small circle with the tailbone and sacrum. So your hips are moving, but you're really initiating the movement at the base of your spine. And now reverse. And now we're going to work on the kidneys. So you're going to put your hands on your kidneys on either side of your spine, just above the level of your navel. And you're going to inhale and you're going to expand that space. So you want to feel a kind of puffing out of your kidney area. Let's do it. Inhale, expand, and now we're going to exhale all the cloudy, gray, fearful energy with the sound. We're going to use letting go. And again, inhale, expand your kidneys, feel movement there under your hands, and now exhale the cloudy, congested energy. And again, and exhale. Inhale. Last time. And exhale. And now let's rotate the hips again and feel your hands just cradling, holding, loving your kidneys, and reverse. Good, and now we're going to shake a little bit and we're going to go to the liver. So there's so many movements we could do to help the liver, but we're going to do this one. Inhale and exhale, palms facing out. You're going to turn to your left. You're going to gather some chi, shift your weight to the front leg, shift your weight to the back leg. Exhale, as you guide chi down this part of your leg, you're going to do the liver sound. Then turn to your other side. Make a circle. Gather the chi, shift your weight to the back leg. Exhale, all the cloudy, gray, murky chi from the liver. Guiding it down the side of your leg. This is the gallbladder meridian. Inhale. Exhale. Turn. Inhale, gather. Shift your weight to the back. Exhale. And let's come back here to the front and make a circle, inhale, and exhale. And we're going to go now to the heart and to the spleen. We're going to do them as a pair. So we're just finishing the season of the heart, the fire energy. The sound we're going to make is and the spleen sound, we're moving into the earth element, which is all about this part of the body underneath your left rib cage. The negative emotion associated with it is worry. We're going to do a sound like kind of wind whistling through the trees. Okay, so here we go. Heart, inhale, bring your arms to the side, come up on your toes, push, exhale the heart sound. Drop your hands from the wrist. Inhale, exhale the spleen sound. When you exhale the spleen sound and you come down like this, you want to compress this area like you're squeezing out the last little bit of toothpaste in the tube. You're squeezing out any cloudy, gray, murky chi. Let's do it again. Inhale, coming to your toes. Exhale, heart sound. Inhale, exhale, spleen sound. Inhale, coming to your toes and pushing. Inhale, exhale, spleen sound. Those of you who know the healing sounds, you can add all the knowledge that you have. Let's do one more. These two movements really go with the seasons we've been in. Good. And finally, let's do the triple heater. The sound is he, and we're going to feel that we're channeling, letting go of excess heat, or if we're somebody who has cold hands, cold feet, cold nose, we want to feel that we're distributing the heat to the extremities. So let's inhale, hands up above the head. As we exhale, you're going to bend the knees and guide the excess heat through the body. And if there's excess, let it drain out the soles of your feet. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do one more. And now let's close our practice. Inhale. Step in with either leg. Swallow your saliva. Bring your hands to your belly. With your eyes closed, rub your belly. Circulate your good energy. Circulate your saliva. And then reverse. And before you open your eyes, take a moment to tune in with yourself, to feel whatever it is you feel from your practice, and to take this feeling with you into the rest of your day, your evening, and share it. Give it away. Thanks.
I'm reminded of the childlike nature of playing Qigong when I watch you practice Qigong.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, you bring that childlike joy back, which is really great. One thing I realized too in observing your practice, Sharon, is that there are many different styles of Qigong and sound healing as well. I just finished my Zongfu Gong program, and we went through similar sounds with different organs, and it was really interesting to see how this one is. So thank you for sharing that. That was really, just a reminder that there's so many different systems.
Yeah, the whole thing about the healing sounds, I think, is all about the energetic connection that we make between our bodies, our emotions, and the sounds. I've learned the healing sounds in so many different ways. Sometimes when I learn them, it's like a Chinese pronunciation class, and sometimes it's completely different. And after all these years of practice, I realize it's about that connection that we were making.
Yeah, very true. And that's the joy of it is it doesn't matter what system you practice. If it brings you peace or joy or greater presence, with our connections with each other and with nature, I think that's one of the most beautiful things about practice. Yeah. I know that we probably don't have a great deal of time, but first of all, I really want to thank you for letting me interview you like this and being able to share your practices. And I also want to know, and you can let everyone else know, how do people get in touch with you?
Thank you, Daisy. This has been such a joy, such a treat. Well, my website is taosharon.com, Tao with a T, T-A-O, Sharon, SHARON.com. And I also have an Instagram presence, which is Tao Sharon NYC, and you can find me on Facebook. I have some things coming up. During this pandemic, I've been doing 9-day online, I call them Qi activations, and I will have one coming up in October, and it's all on Zoom, and it's every day for 9 days for an hour. And also, I'm going to be teaching some astrology with David Twicken, who's an expert in Chinese astrology, and I've been doing Western astrology for many years. And we're doing a 3-session series on astrological techniques and insights into health and prosperity. And that'll be coming up in October, and you can find out about that on my website as well.
Okay. Well, that sounds like great fun, Sharon. It's fantastic to see the East and Western styles of astrology coming together, Eastern and Western practices coming together through us, all of us as practitioners. I look at your extensive bio, your extensive resume, which I'm sure people will read when they have a chance to go into the Qigong Global Summit. But you have such an extensive background, Sharon. I mean, you've traveled extensively, you've studied martial arts, you've taught at the New York Open Center, and your astrology work as well on top of it all. So I'm really looking forward to this, and thank you so much for the honor of requesting for me to do this interview with you, and I look forward to seeing you in person one day in the near future.
Likewise, I miss real people. Anyway, thank you so much, Daisy, and thank you to the Shift Network for bringing this incredible summit to the world. Blessings to all.
Thank you for joining us for the Qigong Global Summit, brought to you by the Shift Network. To learn more, visit QigongGlobalSummit.com. To join our global community of people awakening to their divine humanity and taking inspired action, visit theshiftnetwork.com. Thank you again for gathering with us and for sharing this healing path with your friends and family.